Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Funk, thinking right out here in the lab, doing what I do for you. We about to get into part two of the lesson I just got done with. So let's do what we do. Right is a 25 rule today by storytelling. Story with a message, the message of the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune in and receiving it. We got a good thing going. Let's ride. Right thinking mission, and that's what I'm on. Is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Hope I'm doing my job. Right thinking way of life through what? Mental and spiritual discipline when daily. And what to do what? Help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka knowing thyself. That's my mission. Yeah, all right thinkers do that. That's why I do what I do for you. Let's go. This is part two. But let me get this thing intro. Knowing thyself, routine. Okay. Question, if you don't have the answer to, and it's rhetorical, but you should have the answer. If not, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do for you. Knowing thyself. The person who knows not, knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not, it's simple. You teach them. That's what I do to do for you. I appreciate you. Stay tuned. I got you. A person who knows not and believes or think they know, a little late, but their dangers, avoid them. I do. A person who knows, but knows not that they know, is asleep spiritually. I can awaken them spiritually. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge yourself. Person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow that. All these persons, they reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself. Into my app, be true. I'm back over here, the next page. And let me give you a few of these words. Contentment, understanding, peace, fulfillment. Got a pencil and paper? Write them down, because then what goes with contentment? Emotion. What goes with understanding? Reason. How you find peace? Through action, aka IRE. Fulfillment through will. And when you devote your emotional love, you become content. When you use reason and understanding, you acquire wisdom. When you have peace with action, you become a server, a selfless server, and fulfillment through will and meditation. These are all the things that you can manifest within and for yourself to improve yourself. Let me give you some more information about that. So by doing this, thus every yoga is a discipline of spiritual living. I tell you, I live spiritually disciplined, meaning I keep God first. I'm conscious of all my actions to be good in God's sight. I'm not running around professing to be perfect. Oh, I'm holy and sanctified. No, treat people right. Do what you're supposed to do in every situation. Do your best, be honest, and you'll be just fine. Nothing special, but those kind of people are special by just doing the right thing when they're supposed to. Okay, it's called living. When I live, you spiritually living, which what you do this, you start from top with the yoga discipline and the spiritual living, which will transform every aspect of your personality and what that word again, integral fashion. You covered every aspect, leaving no aspect of human being behind. You can't have emotions and not have will. Don't work. They all got to work together as a unit. Thus, watch this. This is important. Why? Because an unbalanced movement, meaning something not in line and they're working in harmony together, will lead to mental frustration and more ignorance. Why? Because there's more distraction and it leads to more illusions, leading you away from your higher self. For example, watch this. If a person develops, watch this, his reasoning. However, when it comes to dealing with some problem of life, such as the death of a loved one, they cannot control what? Their emotions. They got to the reasoning part, but they forgot to control the emotion. And it comes, why? When something, like I say, perfect example. They could be all, boy, yeah, everything cool, and it's coming, yeah. But as soon as something happens, emotion, they lose it. That's the concept, and that's the truth. Simple as that. Watch this. They cannot control their emotions, or if they are tempted, here's another one. Your willpower to do something which is unrighteous. I told you, I'm only acting out of my spiritual discipline mode at this point in my life. Back then, I did whatever I wanted to do, whatever felt good, whatever I thought I wanted to do. So I understand that, and it was unrighteous. Watch this, such as you want to do something unrighteous, such as what? Smoking. They cannot control their actions again, and have no willpower to what? Resist. If you don't have self-discipline, your spiritual discipline is null and void. Also, what? It starts with self. And higher self is spiritual discipline. So you got to have both. Starts with self-discipline. If I don't have a wherewithal discipline enough to tell myself what's wrong and don't do it, spiritual discipline ain't ever gonna come into the picture. Okay, so it starts with self. But the vision, watch this, of the integral yoga is a lofty goal. Why? Which every human being can achieve with what? The proper guidance, self-effort. See, so I'm gonna guide you. I'm gonna give you the information, but the self-effort comes from you. I say, I do what I do for you. Watch this. And repeated practice, meaning daily. Well, how long I do that? Years. Trust me. There is a very simple philosophy behind integral yoga. What it is? During the course of the day, watch this. And I tell you, I use it because I call it spiritual discipline. During the course of your day, you may find yourself what? Doing various activities, which is fine. Sometimes, watch this, you will be quiet. That's when you can, quiet time, you and God can do your thing. At other times, you will be what? Busy at work. At other times, you might be interacting with other people, etc. Meaning, you do what you do. But when you are consistent, when you are the same, people tend to understand and respect that. Why? If you flighty up and down all over the place, they know they can't get a gauge on you. So it's easier when people can see you pretty much the same dude. And integral yoga, which I use, gives you the opportunity to what? Practice yoga when all the time. Y'all could have been prayed up. I ain't religious. I do yoga concepts. So that's all mental. Okay, watch this. And when you have quiet time, you can do what? Practice, I just told you, meditation, my time to listen to God. When at work, you can practice what? Righteous action by treating people right and a selfless service at the same time. Do what's right, take care of things, and you benefit from that. It ain't hard. And when you have leisure time, your time, you can do what? What I do, study. Okay? Your time is at leisure. You do it whatever you want. I just tell you how I spend mine. That's all. And you study and you do what? You reflect on the teachings. I'm a teacher, so I got to continually learn. And when you feel the what? The sentiment of love for a person or object you like, you can what? Practice remembering the divine self who made it possible for you to experience the company of those personalities or the opportunity to acquire those objects or things. From a higher perspective, you can practice reflecting on how the people and objects in creation are what? Expressions of the divine. And this movement will lead you to spontaneous and perpetual state of what? Ecstasy. When you know that self, you got your stuff together, you live in that perpetual state of consistent ecstasy. Just feel good. I'm at peace with myself. When somebody disturbs that, yeah, I'm trying to get better at not letting somebody disturb that. That's the practice I'm in for myself personally. But when you have perpetual state of ecstasy, peace, and my favorite word, bliss, which are the hallmarks of what? Being spiritually enlightened. Knowing thyself, aka Nihas. The purpose of integral yoga is what? Is therefore to promote integration of the whole personality, the whole person of a human being, which will lead to what? Complete spiritual enlightenment. Not a little bit, not some, complete. Thus, Integral yoga, which what right thinking philosophy is based on, should be understood as what the most effective method to practice mystical spirituality. I chose it not because of that. I chose it because at the time, that's where I was. Now, if I'm looking for it answered all my questions, is continue to answer my questions. I keep stacking up books. I keep giving lessons. So let's go. The important point to remember here is that all aspects of yoga can and should be used what in an integral fashion to generate an efficient and a harmonized spiritual movement in the practitioner, which is you. Self. Everything right there in philosophy is based on self. Why? Because you got to put the work in. Okay? Therefore, while there may be an area of special emphasis, other elements are bound to become part of the yoga program as needed. For example, here we go. While a yogin may place emphasis on what? Yoga of wisdom. Okay. But they may also practice devotional yoga and also meditation yoga along with the wisdom studies. You ain't got to stop this. No, you learn them all intricately. You need to understand when and how to use them like styles. Okay, learn when you need this one, when you need that one. Further, watch this. It must be understood that as you practice one path of yoga, others will what? Also develop well, how? Automatically. For example, as you practice the yoga of wisdom, your faith will increase, or as you practice the yoga of devotion, your wisdom will increase. Again, they work together. If this movement does not occur, your wisdom alone, watch this, will be dry and intellectualism, or your faith alone will be what? Just blind faith. No basis, no foundation, no proof, just blind. So we speak of wisdom here. We are referring to wisdom how? Gained through what? Experience. You need to have your God wisdom for yourself. I mean, you have to experience Him for yourself, or your intuitional wisdom, and not intellectual wisdom, which is, watch this, speculative. Masonry. We are speculative mason. Why? Because we use all the tools in masonry mentally. We don't physically put our hands out and go subscribe bricks. And no, we don't do that. We use it speculative. That's in the mind. But when you have intuitive and you have wisdom, you have experience. That's the difference. I'm a speculative mason. I don't go out there and build houses. I build men. Okay, human beings. I take a rough ass and make them perfect. I take an ignorant person and enlighten them. Alchemy, humanly. I used whatever I could to get the job done. I forgot my place. I'm running at the mouth. Okay, I started here with bliss. Okay, the purpose of yoga. Okay, so you can remember yoga was not here. Okay, here we go. Now, if this movement does not occur, you're with. Okay, we did that. If you do not listen to me, intuitional wisdom and not intellectual wisdom, which is speculative, don't work. Intuition wisdom is experience. That's where you get the wisdom. But if you do not practice the teachings, listen, through the yoga of action, meaning manifested, put into use, your wisdom and faith will be what? Shallow. Why? Because you have not what? Experienced nothing. We can theorize, we can until you experience, that's where wisdom comes from, the experience. You can think all you want. You can believe till the cows come in. What do you know for yourself? So when you do right, you get blessed. You know that there's somebody blessing you for doing good action. Simple as that. Moving on. I'm gonna get through this. Yeah, I'm hitting on the clock again. Okay. But it don't work until what? You experience what? The truth of the teachings and allow yourself the opportunity to what? Test your knowledge and your faith by manifesting it in your daily life. Put it to use. Sorry. If you do not have introspection and faith, your wisdom and actions will be externalized, agitated, and distracted, meaning it's going nowhere. It's just a bunch of jibber jabber. Your spiritual realization will be is substantially weak, will become substantially weak. Why? And lacking stability. You will not be able to meet the challenges of life for you will not be able you will be able to what discover you will not be able to discover the true spiritual realization in this lifetime or even afterlife. Therefore, the integral path of yoga with proper guidance is the most secure method to achieve what? Genuine spiritual enlightenment. This is the chart that they have. It's called the Integral Holistic Yoga. I'm gonna wrap it up with this, but I want you to see what it looks like. Okay, it breaks down all the four things I just told you about. That's what I'm about to do, and we're gonna wrap it up. And I think we're gonna do part three. I'm sorry, but this is information I'm just giving to you, so roll with me. If this is what you do, I got you. Let's go. Integral Holistic Yoga is a process of personal integration working together in every aspect of your life. Love, contentment, emotion, yoga of devotional love, controlling of what? Feelings directed to who? The divine. If you are devotional, I mean, you're doing the right thing, you're obeying God, then you're going to have your emotions under control. You're going to be content in your love for your God. I ain't got a problem with that. If you call it Jesus Christ, I don't make a difference. I allowed to make a difference with me, but that's what that means. Next one is understanding. Using reasoning, that's following yoga of wisdom. Got to have knowledge. And understanding what? The divine mystical psychology. Meaning you have to understand how God works. You have to understand what nature is all about. You have to get understanding about the creation story, the elements, and what God really represents. That's why. Next one is peace. You can only obtain peace we call Hotep through action. IRE. You will be blessed for good IRE. You will be punished for bad IRE. Simple as that. So that yoga of what? Righteous and virtual, that's where that comes in at. I'm virtuous and I'm righteous. So my IRE is what? Self-control, selfless service, and by doing that, you're purifying the heart. See, when you practice what you learn and you practice what you teach, you get the full understanding. Why? Because you're doing it, you living it. You can express it a lot better when you actually doing it. So, well, I think they use this. I'm telling you what I know. Again, let me wrap this up. I appreciate you. That's my point. And last, in fulfillment. If you follow your egoistic desire, you will never reach fulfillment. Why? Because it's never going to be satisfied. That's why. So if you are raising your conscious level, when you reach that Hotep, you are now what? Like my girl, me her. You're full of yourself. You're good to go. You got everything you need. Why? You fulfilled with the will and your yoga of what? Meditation. That's when you commune with God. The pineal gland is the transmitter to God's receiver. If you open up your third eye, you and God become one. That's the goal. But again, through meditation, study of the mind, and development of what? Your inner powers, aka the force. Luke, use the force. But these are the paths to yoga for holistic healing of oneself through every aspect of the self. I got another page of information. I'm going for it. Let's go. The purpose of integral yoga and the disciplines thereby that you have to use. The first thing is to enlighten the intellect. Study to show yourself approved. You got to do that. If I go a day and don't read, don't acquire information, something's wrong. I've got to be sick. Or ain't nothing gonna occupy me that's gonna keep me from doing that. So that's a must. Moving on. Yoga of wisdom. That's right. Think of philosophy. That's what we profess. The next one is to enlighten what? Your emotions. Gain control. Yoga of devotional love. When you acting out of love, you can control and suppress the ego because it ain't about me. It's about serving your higher self. That's why emotions is important to have control over them. Okay? The ego, you don't want him running the show. He ain't emotional at all. Next one is enlighten the body. Yoga of right action. Personally, I go to the gym every day. That's how I take care of my body. Physical fitness. You got to put that in the mix. Whatever it is you do, you got to put in some exercise. Okay, it's extra, not regular, no extra. Put something else in. Some time spent, like you do the prayer time. You need to put exercise time in. I do every day. Now to enlighten your unconscious mind. That's yoga of formal meditation. You set time out for yourself to do this. Why? Because that's how you need to do it for yourself. When you get better, then the integral part of working with your yoga comes into effect. Let me get this done. Study and reflection. You keep when I heard study. Okay, learning. You got to intellect. You got to be smart. God don't want dumb people. Okay, so no offense. Dumb means you ain't trying to learn. It ain't mean you're dumb. No, we all born ignorant. It's okay to be ignorant, but dumb is a choice. Listening should be followed by what? Reflecting upon what you heard, the teachings. However, sometimes questions arise, and it should be as a student, you ask questions to the person who's giving the information. At this time, the aspirant, right thinker, should what? Articulate your question and then ask it. And asking questions is the duty of all right thinkers, aka aspirants. Why? Because it opens the door to understanding. However, once a question has been answered, the answer should be reflected upon and assimilated by you who asked the question. Don't debate and question the answer I give you. If you ask me a question that you want the answer to, I'm going to give you the answer. It's up to you to be smart enough to recognize the answer and then assimilate it accordingly. Simple. However, sometimes an agitated mind is already what? Thinking of the next question or a follow-up debate without taking care of what? To understand the answer to the first question again. Before you even gain knowledge, you on to something else. That's an agitated mind. It's okay. I learn to calm it down. And this will lead to what? Confusion if not handled correctly. Reflection is an art. Every individual should learn to master for themselves. Why? Because it's you checking you. And it is best carried out in what? Silence. Shut up. He's talking. Still yourself. I do meditation, so I ain't got to worry about that game. But you need to listen, not only of the mouth. You need not only of the mouth, but of what? The mind as well. Everything between the ears is all mental. So as the right thinker, you should learn to ask questions and then what? Reflect upon them and living in accordance with the new understanding and the knowledge that you acquired from the question that you asked and got the answer to, you took it and you used it and profit thereby. Why? In this manner, the mind will be transformed. I can't enlighten you if you think what I'm telling you is wrong or you don't believe I'm telling you is what it is. I ain't got time for that. Seek to perform your duties to your highest ability. Be your best self. This way, your actions will be what? Blameless. If you look back on your life, that's an ancient Egyptian proverb. See, nothing new, this is all old. If you look back on your life and you look at who's the fault? If you do what's right, you become blameless. Why? Ain't nobody fault because you did the right thing. So there's no blame to lay it. Okay? Understand that. There is one crucial factor that every right thinker needs to understand. That is how to what? Balance your day-to-day life with the teaching that is being learned or taught to you. I'm here every day for that purpose. So you don't have an excuse. I'll take away that excuse. In the teachings, you will learn what? How to transcend the world. But this does not mean that the world is to be left behind. No, I ain't going to a monastery to learn and acquire my knowledge of self and became the man I am, the sage. I did it right here amongst everything going around me. Again, I'm in the world, but I'm not of it. Man, I let this nonsense go. I ain't got time for that. So that's the part about being your best self. And you have what? Responsibilities to maintain yourself, like your family, a job, or taking care of your children, your spouse, etc. But you must fulfill those responsibilities. And that's what you should be doing. You have gotten yourself into them. And what? So by your past ignorance, that's whatever happened you got there, you got to deal with that. And you must get out of them by what? Fulfilling your responsibilities. Here comes wisdom and righteous action. You know better, you should do better. Simple as that. When you was ignorant, I didn't know. But once you know, you should do what you know. Simple. I see the clock running. I'm trying to get this out of the way. This means that if before you began studying and the teachings of and learning how to simplify your life, become the right thinker, and that you didn't need a spouse to make you happy. You didn't need a girl. And this doesn't not mean that you go out and get a divorce from your wife. No, no, no. Let's keep it real. You need to fulfill your part of the relationship and understand the deeper meaning of relationship. Young people, if you with somebody, you in it to work together, not to work to get out. So another lesson, I ain't into that. I ain't a marriage counselor. Okay, so but if you seen your Egyptian taught you yoga, they'll teach you that aspect. Okay, because when two people come together, they call it intercourse because y'all trying to enter each other. So that's the concept. But with this action, if you discover, watch this, if you discover that you don't need a new expensive car, you can't just stop the payments. There come your possession. These actions, these are stuff that you need to be aware of. Now, these actions would be against who? Maya. hmm You must see the relationship to its conclusion. Even as you grow in enlightenment, you still got to be responsible for what's going on in your life. Simple. You must make the car payments what until you sell it or get out of debt properly. Leave nothing undone every day so that your mind may what? Have peace every day to do what? Study and practice what? The teachings. And so that at the time of your death, what happened? You will not be held back. Why? Or reincarnated. Due to what? Your unfinished business. The day-to-day activities have been created for your benefit. The people that you meet in the relation and responsibilities you need to fulfill daily are the means by which your divine self is allowing you to work out what? The mysteries of your own life by what? Putting the teachings into action, aka manifestation, and therefore you do what? You do not reject this gift of time, aka life, and activities that go with it. There should not be a contradiction between your inner and your outer self life. This contradiction is eradicated how? By the study of your teachings with the proper guidance. Therefore, attend as many classes, that means every day get your lessons as possible, and will do what? Listen to the tapes as often as possible to get understanding. Use it wisely, and you will see how your inner self and your activities in the outer world will work hand in hand to what leads you to enlightenment. The nature of the body is to take delight and pleasure in complexities, but the way of truth is that of simplicity and balance. Wrapping it up. The key to success is following the inner gifts of the soul and the knowledge that leads to what? Self-discovery. To unfold is simplicity. Simplicity relates not only to the teachings, but to one's practical lifestyle. How many possessions do you have? How many do you really need? How many car payments, stereos, and jewelry do you have? How much concerns do you have about the body? What pleasures are you running after? All this is okay. What are you trying to accomplish in life and why? Are you trying to get rich, famous, to be voted in the sexiest person alive with a nonsense? Okay, all the accolades. All of this is what? Perishable. Here we go. And fleeting. Again, anything of the world won't last. It will, excuse me, it will not bring true happiness. Tell you that lesson. You must what? Examine this question carefully. Is it for me or for the good of humanity? You only need what is necessary to what? Fulfill your life's work. They say the rich man, how much he got, is the rich man who needs less. All else will be provided when needed. It will come of its own accord. I tell people, if you work hard, wait a little while and welcome what you after a while, 'cause that's how you'll get it. It'll come if you just keep working. The more possessions you have, the more worries and concerns you have for what? Keeping them and protecting them. Sound familiar? Is this truly living? Worries causes mental agitation. Agitation prevents peace of mind, and without peace of mind, there will be limited understanding of the teachings and limited ability to practice concentration and meditation. Worries and anxieties come from what? Lack of understanding what is truly meaningful in your life and ignorantly running after what? Empty pleasures and distractions. Simplify your life, right, thinkers? The goal of discovering the self suppresses all worldly pleasures and things and all mental pleasures. Therefore, gradually make this the focus of your life, and you will see how many troubles fade, and those adversities you would have led yourself into in the future are now gone forever. You're doing the right thing. You're on the right path to spiritual enlightenment. Consume foods and pure thoughts with pure hands. Adore celestial beings. Become associated with the wise one, a sage, a saint, prophets. Make offerings to God daily. That's right thing of philosophy. That's the lesson. I know it's a little long, but I hope you got it. Thank you.